Hi.
Oh,
lovelies. This is going to hurt, and it may not be safe for those of a cringy disposition. However, I am going somewhere with this, and to that end, I crave your indulgence, just for a bit.
If you are not on board with this left-wing cabal, this cult of degenerate demonic losers, then you are persona non grata. And you're going to get hit-piece articles like this from genuinely the most loathsome, slimy, unctuous beta males. The underlying tonality is an ideology that most people despise, and rightfully they should. It is a demonic, satanic ideology that believes in some of the most profane and just debased ideas about the world and humanity as a whole. They are the worst. They are the most unsavory characters. They are people that have brought the world nearly to ruin. Things should be allowed to be for fans of that thing, not you and your French freak show ideology of Satanists and devil worshippers and sodomites and other perversions that we can't even imagine, furries and all those other creeps.
Cringy, right? I mean, goddamn, that's some hyperbolic nonsense, and it's hyperbolic nonsense that makes it real fucking hard to have fellow cause with people like this, to remain on board and not to retreat to a safe room somewhere before they cause me to snap my back from cringe. Are they serious? I don't know, but I hope not. And this is as bad as when early in Gamergate there was a little sort of political cartoon drawing of a new Mount Rushmore with internet personalities carved into it as the men who saved the West. I still have whiplash from cringing over that. To an extent, of course, right, I get it. It's what the men's rights people call the red pill rage, or more generally, it's the zeal of the convert, you might say. No one is as pure as someone who has just recently gotten into something. And sure, it's not just female custodies in Warhammer, it's the cumulative weight of a million little straws on the backs of a variety of camels with very different degrees of spinal fortitude. Still, when you go off like this, it damages your cause. I mean, assuming that you do actually care about the cause, right? Perception is as important as anything else. There are good arguments to be made from things like lore, aesthetic, theme, mood, precedent, and so on. If you start going off like this, though, and completely understandably so, you're going to be filed under nuttier than squirrel shit and roundly ignored as some sort of proto-fascist. If you want to be left alone by interfering activists, a strong starting point for that argument would seem to be leaving other people alone, not branding them Satanists, sodomites and degenerates or whatever else on the things that you disagree with them over that doesn't actually hurt anybody. All of this screaming, what is it good for? And all it's good for, perhaps, are YouTube clicks. And there's the rub. Whether you're a big media conglomerate or a dinky little YouTuber, the algorithm, all hail algoritmo, favours the most overhyped, least reasonable, most histrionic takes that it can find. This dude, and I don't mean to just pick on this dude, but you know, he's got 11k subs. Not great. Probably worth a couple of $100 a month or more. It's not a new channel, but it's definitely rebooted itself and pivoted even more to outrage since 2023. But this whole YouTube game it seems to be easier if you ambulance chase and run down the latest scandals and give the hottest, most incendiary of takes possible. Such behaviour is encouraged, even. It's relatively easy money and it's relatively easy channel growth, I suppose, but to my mind it ends up damaging the causes you claim to be advocating for, just as activism on the other side tends to damage the causes it claims to be advocating for. And this kind of commentary is either inauthentic and therefore disingenuous, or it is sincere and horrifyingly cringe and still counter to whatever cause it might be claiming to espouse. And I don't know what we do about it. Yeah, I try to be reasonable and level-headed in my commentary, but it means very slow growth. And occasionally I am compelled to use clickbait headlines or slightly misleading thumbnails, or to chase trending topics myself in order to keep my channel relevant, however relatively reasonable I might keep my commentary. I try to make cogent, even-tempered arguments, but then along comes some chucklefuck and claims that female custodies in Warhammer 40,000 are somehow responsible for low sperm counts or some shit. Like I said, I get it, right? You're incentivized towards hyperbole, as are your opposition in this attention economy. Reasoned, well thought out voices get pushed aside for that cheap hit of anger, adrenaline and dopamine. People get prominence for being living cartoons. And again, I get it. The zeal of the convert and the deranging effect that a siege mentality can have. It's easy to get into that rut. Then it has happened to me in the past. I'm not immune. But you have to be better. We have to be better. If you want to win, whatever a victory looks like, then you have to keep this kind of stuff in mind. Are you in it to win the argument, or are you in it to win clicks? The death of nuance is not good for anybody. Sang. On a crazy whim, I recorded the almost entire 5th edition D&D SRD as an audiobook, and you can pick that up, pay what you want on DriveThruRPG, or you can listen to it on a playlist on my YouTube channel, Postmortem Video.